Hey guys, I apologize if there's a fan blowing in the background of the noise and the audio because it's hot in the room and I'm not going to turn it off. Furthermore, I apologize that this is the only video you're getting in May. I got a trip to take, so I've been kind of focused on that and not focused on gaming. I'm going to resume content later on, but for now, unfortunately, this is all we get. So I finally came in and finished off Spider-Man. The DLC of Spider-Man was something I didn't complete, figuring I should probably finish Final Fantasy VI first when it comes to the whole Let's Play situation. However, that took almost another year to do so. Whoops. Anyway, I'm back again, finishing things with Spider-Man for now. Time to work over the DLC, which I was kind of worried about. Things I was seeing were kind of off-putting. Hammerhead was a robot cyborg? Since when does that happen? Why is this all weird? Well, it was time to play it and find out. However, as you guys know, I transferred my file work from the PlayStation 4 to the PlayStation 5 on my save file. Ended up missing. Oops. Now I'm doing this all from square one. Well, naturally, this DLC is built for Spider-Man, who isn't at level 5, but that's the earliest you can challenge the DLC, and that's what I ended up doing. If you watched my Let's Play, you know I had a rough go at this, but I did beat the DLC and finally saw Hammerhead as a robot. My thoughts? Well, I see what happened here. See, while he has a lead in the family of the Magia every so often, Hammerhead isn't really well known for being a criminal mastermind or even a criminal leader, normally running the muscle of the operation. However, the person he runs the muscle for very often and is normally a leader of the Magia would end up being an older guy by the name of Silvermane. Know what else he's known for? Silvermane is on the older side and looking for eternal youth. He eventually gets this by, get this, turning himself into a cyborg. Yeah, sound familiar? Oh boy. So for some reason, instead of using both Silvermane as well as Hammerhead, they decided to merge both characters into one version of Hammerhead, which is odd. It could have worked, but it kind of ended up not working here, and I'll explain that. But for now, let's just break things down. I reviewed DLC slightly differently and a bit more casual, but regardless, let's do this. Let's take on Hammerhead! Chapter 1 begins. So, Spider-Man is investigating a possible art robbery. Turns out, without Wilson Fisk being the kingpin, people want to fill that role and take over New York. The original crime syndicate, Magia, is having an eternal gang war with different families fighting among themselves. This art robbery is part of it. Hammerhead wants the painting that isn't worth very much, but Black Cat is also there, and unlike Hammerhead's goons, Black Cat actually steals the damn thing. However, she breaks it, stealing a hard drive hidden in the painting. She takes off as Spider-Man chases after her. After a lot of foreplay, Spidey learns why she's here. She's working for Hammerhead because he has her son. This is also possibly Spidey's kid as well. So now Spidey ends up helping Black Cat steal these hard drives. Each head of the Magia families has one of these, and stealing all 5 of them will lead Hammerhead to a huge money stash all the families helped build. While Spidey and Cat steal these hard drives, Spidey finds the location of Hammerhead's secret vault. Spidey and Cat go to find her kid. Surprise, there is no kid, and Black Cat steals the last hard drive from Hammerhead's vault and takes off. Spidey goes to save her from a bomb, but it goes off, and it makes it look like she died. That's the first chapter. Second one starts with Spidey working with Yuri to stop Hammerhead. After a huge battle, Hammerhead kills a few cops. He flees, and Spidey promises Yuri that he'll take Hammerhead out. He finds out that Hammerhead is trying to kidnap all the other Magia heads. Spidey tries stopping this, but sadly Hammerhead gets away, and Yuri isn't happy and slightly unhinged. Eventually, Spidey finds them. Hammerhead, who has been stealing Sable Tech, brings all the heads to the Magia family to drown them in cement. Spidey stops this and fights Hammerhead. Hammerhead has turned himself into a robot of sorts, obsessed with bringing the Magia into the new age. He is promptly defeated. Yuri then shows up and then tries and kills him. She shoots him in the head, and while everyone thinks he's dead, he's revived and manages to escape because we have one more chapter to go. Chapter 3 starts with Silver Sable pissed about Hammerhead stealing her gear due to a civil war in her own country. She fights Spider-Man and eventually they work together. After a while, Spidey and Sable find out Hammerhead's head plate is made of a very specific metal that is heat vulnerable. Yeah, no killing, right? Yeah. Sable straps a heat laser cannon to her personal plane, and while Spider-Man holds the even more mech'd out Hammerhead, Sable shoots him in the head. Spidey wallops him because somehow making his skull super hot doesn't fry his brain, instantly killing him, and soon Hammerhead is defeated. If that chapter seemed very short, I shortened it a lot. Originally, Sable didn't trust Spidey and is captured by Hammerhead while Spidey's almost killed. However, Black Cat is revealed to be alive. She saves Spidey. Then he has to go and save Silver Sable because Hammerhead wants more tech from her brain. Yeah. This story isn't great. Hammerhead becomes obsessed with becoming a robot because that's the new age of things, I guess. It's weird since they took a character known for living in the past and now he wants to live in the future. It's kind of dumb. If only Silvermane were here instead! Haha! That would have worked well. Instead, we have a Hammerhead whose motivations make little sense and a poor excuse for a big-ass robot fight. At least Yuri, Sable, and Black Cat have good writing. They make sense, at the very least. Also, I hate Hammerhead's design in this game. Yeah. His first robotic look is okay, but man, his second form, that's a decent-looking robot with Hammerhead's regular-ass head smacked into the damn thing. It looks so uncanny. I think Sable's jet looks fine, Hammerhead as a human looks great, Black Cat looks fantastic, and I don't mind Hammerhead in the first fight with some of the gear, but outside of that and some Sable's gear that aren't large amounts of new models to my knowledge, there really isn't much new here when it comes to the modeling. There isn't much new to the gameplay either, so let's move on. So let's talk about some of the missions that we get here. A large amount of the levels are combat variety. There are often a large amount of foes and you are to deal with them. Want to know the issue? Remember over a year ago I had an issue with Spider Sense? Yeah, Spidey's ultimate counter move not working if there were too many foes to deal with? Yeah? That was originally only a problem in base side missions, which were literally big-ass combat challenges. Well, this issue now happens on some of the regular missions here. Not all of these are combat missions, of course, and when they aren't, some of these are really fun. There's a chase scene with Black Cat. That was kind of cool. You have to use the Spidey bot to spy in the bar with no name. A boss fight with Silver Sable and the final fight with Hammerhead were all good. Yeah, things like that. However, you fight a lot. Outside of Hammerhead's base, outside the museum, outside a theater, on a big-ass building, during the first fight with Hammerhead. You know, a lot. The pacing of these is kind of out of sorts, too. There isn't even a boss fight in the first chapter. No fight with regular Hammerhead or Black Cat at all. Then the second chapter has a shit ton of combat, including a Hammerhead boss fight that is not only confusing, but has a ton of regular enemies to go right along with it. Seriously, these guys are horridly distracting because Spider-Man often doesn't really know who to target first. I'm trying to take on Hammerhead, and all of a sudden the goon that happens to be right behind me is Spider-Man's target. Why? Last, there are 2 boss fights in the third chapter. One with Silver Sable, which was actually really good, and the final fight with Hammerhead, which, yeah, there's some regular thugs here too, and yeah, they can be a bit distracting, but they're not as many, and the space is more open, leading you to be able to focus on Hammerhead a lot easier. Lastly, there are a ton of new side quests to deal with, but they're almost all enemy bases, crimes, and screwball tasks. Yeah, that's not the greatest. I get it though. These are the hardest ones to get the required tokens for a complete all the costumes and upgrades in the vanilla game. See, tokens help increase Spider-Man and get costumes. There are bonus tokens for crimes, bases, and Taskmaster's games. Well, now you have more chances to get these tokens instead of having to do the sometimes kind of annoying side quests in the side quest kind of thing. but you swap Taskmaster with Screwball. Of course, Screwball is horribly annoying, so there's certainly a downgrade there, but it helps regardless. I may not like these, but I get why they're included. So there are 2 new things to do, however, and they are pretty fun. Chapter 1 has you tracking down stolen art by Black Cat's father, and you investigate murders in Chapter 3. Solving the murders isn't as engaging as, say, when doing the same thing as Batman. You're actually mostly looking for nearby audio tapes, rather than solving anything. Still, the side quest brings some added world building, and murder solving brings a close to Yuri's story, started in Chapter 2, so that's totally cool. Naturally, doing all the side quests in the chapter unlocks some new threads, as does completing certain story missions. Like this one that Kotaku mislabels as being from a toy, but is actually from a Sinister Six storyline involving Deathlock. Neat. Seriously, these new costumes are awesome and have great references to them, so I enjoy getting them for sure. If I sound like I'm trying to be overly negative, I promise I'm not. There were some fun moments that this DLC had, including some secret costumes, some levels, and stuff like that. But honestly, there's a lot of problems here. This DLC is okay. I recommend it, sure, but I can't recommend it for the full retail price of $25. That is a bit much for this. Now, I'm absolutely sure that there was a lot of work put into this, but overall, this DLC has fun moments and repetitive moments. Also, I really don't like Chapter 2. No new side quests, mostly combat of large waves of enemies, styled missions, and probably the least engaging boss fight in the entire game. Chapter 3 was much better, and while yes, there were large waves as well here, there's more variety in Chapter 3, and Silver Sable was helping you out with the larger waves of enemies. The boss fight with Sable and the final fight with Hammerhead, while not the greatest boss fight ever, was at least more entertaining than his first encounter. There were also a lot more variety with Chapter 1 as well, and side quests in Chapter 1 and 3 that weren't just base missions of the regular crimes. And Screwball replacing Taskmaster is just awful. I get it. She's supposed to be annoying, but she plays the trope too well and becomes an example rather than a parody. The writing is a bit sloppy too. I don't understand why they use Hammerhead instead of Hammerhead and Silvermane. Did they not have enough budget? Did they run out of time making character models? That would explain how dumb Hammerhead looks in his final battle. Maybe they didn't think Silvermane was DLC seller? I don't know. I really wanted to enjoy this DLC more, especially with the asking price, but I'd recommend this closer to $15 rather than $25. That's just me though. Although you could just wait until you transfer over to the PlayStation 5, just saying. DLC's free then, if you don't already have it anyway. That's all the time I have for this DLC review. Like I said, I recommend it, but if you haven't bought it already, get it at a discount price, or wait until the PlayStation 5. Eventually, you probably get a PlayStation 5, right? Yeah? No? Maybe? I don't know. But like, subscribe, comment, hit the bell. Really helps out my channel. And if you like this, there's a full game review also on my channel. Until next time, my minions, take care.